Hello and welcome to 5 p.m. Lockdown Beers and Rugby Chat here on New Zealand Sport Radio. Hi, I'm Paul and I'll be your host today. And unfortunately, it is a sad one as we've had Sean Wainui has died today, the Super Rugby Maori All Black and Bunnings NPC player. We will have a chat about his career. We'll also have a chat about Moana, who turned out for the Heartland Championship at the weekend. Junior Sau has signed for the Major League Rugby, and we'll also talk about Moana Pasifika, who've named another 3 players, taking them up to 7 players now that Moana Pasifika have named. 5 of which myself and Stephen Harris did predict, and you can check out our prediction for the Moana Pasifika, gone blank now, player squad over at nzsportradio.com. 40 seconds until 5 o'clock, and we can crack open the beer. Obviously, during this lockdown, I'll be working from home, so hopefully you are looking to sign out of your work emails and things and start winding down for the day. Just in that one, and please, folks, do follow all of the lockdown rules and also get vaccinated as well. Only what are we looking at now? 10 seconds till 5 o'clock. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. 5 o'clock, folks. Time to log out all those work applications and start winding down for the evening. So yes, the real sad news today is that Sean Wainui died this morning in a car crash when his car hit a tree. So our thoughts and condolences go out to his friends, and particularly his young family that he has left behind. Folks, this is a good reminder that look, you'd never know when you might next get the opportunity to talk to somebody or tell your loved ones that you love them. So please don't forget to give your loved ones a hug. Don't put off those phone calls and do get in touch, because life can be so short. So please don't put off those phone calls or giving your thing a hug. Pineapple Sideways, saying the only one viewer. Look, we're also live on. We're going to go live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, folks. So Pineapple Sideways might be the only viewer on YouTube at the moment, but hey, we'll see you. Hey, you never know who might be listening on the other channels as well. And also, don't forget, folks, this also goes out as a podcast as well. Just search New Zealand Sports Radio. Sean Wainui, then, a player that always played with a smile on his face, which is always a great thing to see. Obviously, played for over 50 caps with Taranaki, and moved over to Bay of Plenty this season. Also 10 caps for the Maori All Blacks. I've forgotten that he played for the Crusaders, was down there for 2 years, getting 9 caps, and they put out a lovely message talking about how he was involved with the writing of their haka down there as well. And then obviously, a lot of us remember him playing for the Chiefs, and was it 5 tries in one game? I think it was his record Super Rugby try scorer for one game as well. Listening to or reading about Neil Barnes talking about Sean Wainui and how he may not have had the best speed, but was a guy who really did prepare well for games. So it sounds like a real thinking player in that one. And thoughts and go out to his young family in this one. It's a really sad day for rugby, and obviously particularly for them. Moving on then, and Moana played at the weekend for East Coast in the Heartland Championship, their first win in many years over Buller, and apparently he might play again for them this season. So all comes down to family commitments and things. But Gears, who's the head coach down there, said that Jose Gear, that is, said that that he might play again. They've got a tough one as they go off and play. I think it's West Coast this coming weekend, down obviously in the South Island. One of the longest trips for a Heartland Championship team to make. Remember, these are essentially amateur teams, so getting time off for those trips. So good luck to them in their next game with that one. So, but yeah, it will be cracking to see Nonu playing for them again. Look, the extra publicity and eyes and that it brings, that one is great. Moving. So yes, that's on that one. Also, an interesting one. Saw that Junior Sao, who is the ex-Kiwi international, so that's it's in rugby league, has played for Melbourne and Newcastle in the NRL, is heading over to the USA to play Major League Rugby next year, playing for Washington Old Glory. So interesting one there as he crosses codes. The 34-year-old, a bit late for crossing codes. I'm sure he would have played some rugby union in his youth here in New Zealand. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes in that one. Joining a bunch of Kiwi players there, Jason Robertson, Retinal Roberts, Tenana, Dylan Tycho Simpson, and Callum Gibbs. So a number of Kiwis there at the at Old Glory. So yeah, interesting, and we're keeping an eye out on the Major League Rugby again next year. A whole bunch of Kiwis playing over there now. Time for a sip of beer in that one, and apparently I have a calming voice. Thank you for that, Pineapple Sideways, in the live chat there on YouTube. And then finally, Moana Samoa. Well, no, Moana Samoa. Talent joining Moana Pasifika, or Manu Samoa. Sorry, joining Moana Pasifika. Geez, getting my words mixed up now. So yes, 7 players now have been announced for Moana Pasifika, and it's time to get into the backs in this next the next round of players. 3 players today have been announced. Narai Formai, Bubba Formai, is from Hawke's Bay, has been announced as was one of the players in the centres. Tomasi Alessio from Upper Hutt, who has been a Samoan Sevens player, played 201 games for Samoa on the Sevens circuit, scoring 47 tries. So there's a guy who knows his way to the try line. So it'll be interesting to see him there in that one. So probably we'll see him probably in the fullbacks. We've been playing for Wellington this year in the Bunnings NPC. And then finally, Henry Tafau, who has been playing for or played for the Reds, and in Super Rugby has been over at the Western Force over there. Is the final signing. So 3 more players. As I say, 3 players that we did predict, myself and Stephen Harris, as part of our Moana Pasifika squad show that we did. They'll be joining Christian Lealefano and Ronnie Enari, who are obviously the halfback pairing that were initially announced, and then Sione Tuipulotu and Solomon Funakai, the loose forwards or lock and loose forwards there, also have been named in that squad. So 7 players so far have been announced. I expect that we'll be getting players every day this week at around about 2:00 on their Facebook page. So great to see that they are. I think they've pretty much got their squad already signed up. It's just a matter of just announcing them for that one as there. And as I say, so it's 7 players so far, and good to see that Moana Pasifika side coming together. in all honesty, a bit of a quiet news day today for on the old rugby front. But also, whilst there has been some criticism about the Wales versus New Zealand game, because it's outside of the test window, so Wales will not have access to all of their players, the ones that are based in, I'll say over in England. Am I a Pommy in Australia? No, I'm a Pommy in New Zealand. Hence the New Zealand Sport Radio. So over here, so yeah, but they're going to be making $6 million. I think that's probably New Zealand dollars. There, so about £3 to £4 million will be generated from that game for Wales. And as Joshua says, aren't Wales in a financial hole at the moment? I think you can safely say that for just about every single rugby union in the world at the moment is in a financial hole. For example, New Zealand will play more test matches this year, equaling their record of test matches they played in 2008. They have never played more test matches than they'll play this year at 15. Normally they have 14, and then it goes down on about 13 or so in Rugby World Cup years. So, and that's when they make the final. Yeah, this is a record for them there in that one. So, hence you can see that I say every union is in a hole. The Wales were in a lot of debt, but I think they got that restructured. That was around the stadium, and I think they've got themselves in a much better position than that one. Yeah, I do think we will be seeing the. So yes, so I'm not surprised that they're playing that game. Look, it was always going to be about cash, and look, we need money to keep the game going. Southgate out on the old YouTube says Eddie Jones is named his England squad today at 3 p.m. That'll be 3 p.m. England time or British time. Who do I think we're starting at 9 going forward? Look, it's definitely a time of what do you call it, of flux for England. They've had Ben Youngs there for so long, but no one's really cemented that second place. So it's really going to be interesting to see who they do go with, and it is that they are going to have to start looking at a replacement for Ben Youngs. He's been there for a long time, getting on a bit now. So it'll be interesting to see who he selects. I'll have to wait and see when that squad comes out. Curry at 8. I'm not a big fan of that one, to be honest with you. There is this whole twin fetcher kind of route. I mean, that's what we saw South Africa do, or the Springboks do, by having Kwagga Smith, and then also gone Sia Khaleesi as 2 open sides. And that worked for them whilst Peter Seftotoy was out injured. So we'll have to wait and see what route he goes down. So I'm not a big fan of that. I'd like to see a proper blind side, a proper 8. You are going to find times when your scrum's under pressure, and having an 8 who knows how to handle the ball at the back of the scrum is, I think, a very useful thing to have. And I'd personally rather than having Curry there at 8. Yep, that's the news. I'll be back at 5 p.m. tomorrow with Lockdown Beers and Rugby Chat. This is basically turning into a daily show up to where we talk about basically the rugby news from the previous 24 hours. Over the weekend, it clashed with various rugby games, so hence we didn't do the live streams, but I did do quick audio podcast shows to keep people up with the news that happened over the past 24 hours. So do let me know what you thought of those. If you did listen to those on our podcast, or on podcast only, folks, not on the not on the streaming channels. I say New Zealand Sport Radio for that. If you'd like to support the channel and help us bring out these all this stuff, then head over to patreon.com/NZ Sport Radio to help us. We're an independent source. Media source. We do this because we love it. Unfortunately, it's not our full-time jobs, but help with buying all the tech that we need to do this. Much appreciated. So please, and also it'd be great if we could go full time. So please do head over to patreon.com/NZ Support Radio to become a supporter of the channel. Stay safe, folks, during lockdown. Please follow all of the rules. Get vaccinated, and let's get back to normal as quickly as possible.